Welcome to You're Not Alone. The podcast brings you real stories of strength, hope, and resilience. Our guests are real people just like you who have faced losses, anxieties, and life obstacles but emerged stronger. Today's guest is Robin Miles, who lived without personal boundaries, confidence, or self worth for years. She knows what it means to rebuild from complete brokenness through deep inner work and spiritual growth. She found her voice, she found her power. Now Robin has embraced the healing gifts she once denied and helps others do the same. This episode is all about reclaiming yourself, setting boundaries, and rising stronger than ever. Let's dive in. My name is Victoria Vita. I'm a mindset mentor, Reiki master, and a sound healer. I'm also the CEO and founder of Self Awesomeness and the host of this podcast. And today's guest is Robin Miles, a radiant force of healing, transformation, and truth. At 60, Robin shares her journey from deep brokenness, low self-worth, and zero boundaries to becoming a confident, aligned woman, as we can see, and a powerful tantra teacher. Her path wasn't easy. She rebuilt herself from the inside out, accepted the gifts she once denied, and found purpose in her pain. Now she helps others heal through embodied wisdom and the art of healthy boundaries. Her mission is to help the next generation rise with clarity, confidence, and connections. Thank you, Robin, for being here today. I know that your story is so powerful and deeply human. So let's start from the beginning. Can you please take us back to the time when you felt most disconnected from yourself?
Well, thank you, Victoria, for having me here. And just that introduction alone, it kind of brought tears to my eyes.
Oh.
It did, because I was like, wow, I have come a long way. So to hear that reflected back was like, oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. So, gosh, a time when I felt most disconnected from myself. I started back in probably around 2008, 2009, up to about 2010, where I just started feeling like, gosh, nothing is working. Nothing is working in my
Mm-hmm.
life. And I also want to say that I probably felt disconnected my whole life,
Mm-hmm.
but didn't realize it. Just kind of got through everything. But I really started feeling that then about during that time. So that put
Mm-hmm.
me at about, 40, 44, 45,
Mm-hmm.
when I
Yeah.
started feeling that. Yes.
So what happened? What changed?
Whew. So
I mean, if you are willing to share your story.
I am. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
Yes.
Well, it seemed like nothing was working in my life. And
Mm-hmm.
the big catalyst, if you will, Um, I was in I was in a relationship, and I'd been in this relationship 3 or 4 years. I'd been in this, and what I thought was an exclusive relationship that I was
Mm-hmm.
in with someone, because that was the parameters that we set. I found out that he was also in an exclusive relationship with somebody else.
Wow.
And there were other women in the mix
Mm-hmm.
too. And she didn't know about me, and I didn't know about her.
Mm-hmm.
And so when this came out, and I, she and I met and talked and
Oh, wow.
went through all the details.
Mm-hmm.
That was the catalyst that like shifted everything. I was so broken. I became so broken.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized at that time that it broke me as a woman,
Mm-hmm.
to have that deep betrayal like that.
Yes.
And in the process of that breaking, which was just filled with tears, filled with like literally throwing up, just
Mm-hmm.
insides coming out, I realized I was broken in all areas of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
was broken in my work, I was broken spiritually. I was broken emotionally. I was broken financially. It was just like, oh my gosh, this is like I'm across the board broken at this point. So that was the catalyst that brought everything up for me and started me to take a look at things a little bit differently and figure out things differently.
So
Yes.
how did that work out for you when I think sometimes when women we feel broken, it's
Hmm.
really hard to put ourselves together.
Yes.
We go through events in our head over and over and over again. We may be blaming ourselves, but then at some more point or moment in our life we realize it has to change. So, and I guess it changed for you as well, and this is when your spiritual and somatic healing began. Can you tell us how did you discover tantra? How did you discover somatic healing? How did you felt that, oh my goodness, this is it, this is what makes me feel better about myself, and how all of that helped you to set up the boundaries now? Because we will talk about I want to talk about boundaries too.
Yes, boundaries are so important.
Yeah.
Well, that was, it was 2011 that like, oh, boom, I've got to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And a dear friend of mine was an ambassador to a program in New York that was specifically for women.
Mm-hmm.
And she convinced me to sign up for this. And at a time when I was like, I don't even know what this is. And I can't afford it. I don't know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing here. But she convinced me that it would all be okay, that
Mm-hmm.
yes, everything would fall into place, and that I should do this. And she was right. So I signed up for that, and I started, that's when I started on this journey. The
Mm-hmm.
tantra came later,
Mm-hmm.
but I started on this journey, which I didn't even know what the journey was going to be. I just knew it had to be something other than where
Something.
I was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that journey started in a women-centric organization, or community, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I didn't have a lot of female friends either. I
Mm-hmm.
had
Mm-hmm.
just a couple of female friends, and I was very in my masculine, and didn't. I wasn't very soft at all. I wasn't very
Mm-hmm.
soft. I was very hard and very, like I said, in my masculine energy, and not even in a divine way, just very, masculine. and
Yes.
and I entered this community of very feminine,
Mm-hmm.
very soft women, and women who were also experiencing similar betrayals, similar journeys, and
Mm-hmm.
and other journeys as well. And so the first weekend I went for this workshop, I cried the whole weekend. I absolutely cried the whole
Oh, so
weekend.
the healing process
Oh
started.
my gosh. So the
Just
healing
began.
process started. I thought nobody's even said anything to me, and I'm just a bundle of
Yes.
tears.
Yeah.
And somebody said, you're in the right place. That's showing you're in
Mm-hmm.
the right place, and it's all
Yes.
coming up. And so through that journey, which was like a 5-month workshop that I was involved in, I truly like broke all the way down. Like I thought I was
Mm-hmm.
broken, and I broke a little bit further. I broke a little bit
Oh my
further.
God.
I'm
Heart
like,
open surgery.
it was.
Open heart surgery.
Yes, I likened it to, I just recently said that it was like somebody like pulled out my junk drawer. Everybody has that junk drawer
Mm-hmm.
in the kitchen,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
dumped it out and said, nothing goes back.
Yes.
So what do how you
What
clean,
do you do?
what do you do? Because your junk drawer you have in your kitchen, you pull stuff out, you take things
Yes.
out, you put it back in. Nothing was to go back in. It was like no, and it all
Yeah.
had to be out there. It was out there for like in this sacred space for people to help and help healing, not to
Mm-hmm.
fix, but just
Yeah.
to
Not to
be
fix.
there,
Yes.
not to fix, but to hold that space. and to help in that healing. And so that's where I started this healing journey, which I said was back in 2011. I did go to one tantra event during that time. I went. It was actually a date. I had a first date with a man that took me to a tantra yoga class, and it was billed as a clothes on, hands off class. And so it was a beautiful workshop. I had never been in something like that. And there was a puja circle. There were all these exercises with eye gazing and things that were so new to me. And we went as partners, because you had to go as a partner. It wasn't, just for anybody to show up. You went as a partner. And it was very challenging for me. And I liked it, but I was like, I don't think I'm ready for more of this just yet.
Yes.
So yeah.
Your door was just opened. You are not ready to put.
And so I was so overwhelmed.
Yes.
And he had incredible patience with me, also to kind of help me on that healing journey and help me kind of dissect everything that was happening in my life. So that's where I started, and then the tantra portion, that's relatively new for me. Because I really stepped inside of that. It will be 3 years this October that I stepped inside of that. So, and I was ready when I stepped inside of that. I was ready. I was ready, and I thought that I had I thought, I'm like, oh, I've got boundaries. I've learned my yeses. I've learned my nos. I have healed a lot. I just up leveled all the way again. I was like, oh, here's another junk drawer.
Isn't it amazing, right? You think like, so it's all squared away now, and here you go. There is something else that
you
haven't even thought about.
I call it layers of healing.
Yes.
I also have an interior design background, so I always talk in layers of textures and layers of luxury. And layers in your room. And so what I find now in this tantric lifestyle and the whole healing journey itself is it's all layers. It's layers of things that come up that need your attention, want your attention, command your attention.
Yes.
Some not so good, some good. So it's kind of all across the board with that. And so, so I'm in that part of the journey now with the tantra, with all of that.
Yeah, I guess it's a beautiful journey, and when you're ready for tantra, it finds you somehow, right? So
it does. It does. There's a quote. I think it's by Rumi, which is, "What you're seeking is seeking you," and it was definitely something that was seeking me. And I was ready and said yes, and opened. That first event that I was in, I could feel this heart opening, and I could feel my body exhaling, and I could feel my shoulders dropping. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
This feels good. I want more. And so I'm like, I want more of this. I'm ready for more of this. And so thus the start of my tantra journey there.
My first tantra experience was I was crying. It was a female retreat, and I was crying like crazy. I couldn't stop. Like I was like, "What's going?" I don't cry in public, all of that stuff. But I cried, and that was my first time when I got introduced to tantra. But I think it's actually it takes time to dive deeper. So I think it's just when you're ready to dive deeper.
Yeah, I
I still want to talk about it. So what tantra is, but I want to ask you how your body, what role your body played in your healing, because we say the drawers open, right? And it wasn't just emotional, it was body wise as well, right? So
yes, there was
after the years of feeling disconnected with yourself and being broken emotionally, so how did your body play in your healing? What role did it play?
So I always had a lot of body shame. And I always had a
Mm-hmm.
lot of insecurity about
Mm-hmm.
my body, even when I was like um, 18 years old and
Mm-hmm.
a gymnast and 114 pounds. I had insecurities about my body. And I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that comes from a lot of that I recognize comes from society and the shame that's
Yes.
put on so many of us as women. And so through my tantra journey, through my whole healing journey and tantra journey, I've learned to love my body wherever I am with
Mm-hmm.
it. And to love up on my body as well, to
Yes.
appreciate all aspects
Mm-hmm.
of it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
through that, through loving up on my body, through accepting my body,
Mm-hmm.
and through moving my body and dropping into sensual movements and sensual workshops
Mm-hmm.
that have helped also open more of my body up. Um, she's now like this full on yes.
Yes.
Like, there's no shame anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There isn't an insecurity anymore. You know, this is who I am at whatever stage of life I am, whatever my body looks like. I'm loving her
Yes.
and leading with that love and feeling that throughout my body as well. So that in itself was a major shift for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yes, because for someone, most of my life was very thin. Um, and then as we get older, things, you know, we start changing, our body
Yes.
starts changing and various medical issues and things like that. And then all of a sudden I found I'm like, you know, I'm not the thin girl anymore.
Yes.
Um, I'm more curvy, more voluptuous. And that is a difference in itself. And so that was an adjustment. That was an
Mm-hmm.
adjustment for me.
Mm-hmm.
And also okay, this is who my body is and who my body
Yes.
wants to be. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm allowing and choosing and loving all
Yes.
of that.
Yes.
Yes,
I know
yes.
that a lot of women do struggle with
Mm.
loving their body
Mm-hmm.
as it is. And
Mm-hmm.
I know it's so crucial to accept, like
Mm-hmm.
genuinely accept your body, appreciate every
Yes.
cell of your body,
Every cell.
right?
Yes.
Some things maybe we can control, but our height we cannot, for example, control. And bragging about, oh my goodness, I want to be tall. And I
Mm-hmm.
always
Mm-hmm.
envied shorter women because I'm tall.
Same here. Same here.
So it's but once you accept your body,
Yeah.
because this is basically like all home for our soul,
Yeah.
everything is changing. And if you gain extra pounds, you still love those extra pounds. If you lose them, you still love those lost pounds too, and you love yourself. But what
Yes.
is your favorite exercise or technique or something first you remember that help you to shift that mindset from not being enough in my body to
Mm-hmm.
loving your body?
Mm.
Something that if you can share with the listeners, I think that would help.
Excellent question. Um, More movement in my
Hmm.
body that was freer in movement,
Hmm.
um, where it was lots of hip circles, lots of dropping in, lots of sensual movement, slow, sensual movement to beautiful, sexy dance music.
Hmm.
And in a space that was accepted and
Hmm.
celebrated and encouraged.
Hmm.
So that was a time that started shifting for me, and then incorporating breath work and sound into that
Hmm.
it was okay when you're moving to like be loud in your
Yes.
movements,
Yeah,
whatever
not
that
afraid.
loudness. Yeah, and be big
Yes.
in your movements. And I was like, oh, I've always been a little small in my movements. I don't have to be small, I can take up
Hmm.
space. You know, it was
Yes.
encouraged to take up space. It was encouraged to move big. And that there was a sense of freedom with
Hmm.
that. And
Yeah.
there's a sense of freedom with that, and the big expressions with sound, breath, and movement with that, which are tantra pillars
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, that's amazing because I think that's what we are not taught to do. Move
Yes,
our bodies, right? So
yes,
now we sit at our computers 10 hours a day. We sit on a
yeah,
couch instead of
yeah,
moving our body. But
yeah.
also allowing yourself to move when you are surrounded in that space and you're surrounded by other women, you still can move and you still can have fun instead of analyzing, oh, am I moving perfectly? Yeah.
Right,
Is my move
right.
good enough to fit in?
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
some of the dance that I took were, I took a pole dance. I took some pole dancing
Hmm.
classes. I
Hmm.
took some lap dancing classes.
Yes.
I took belly dancing classes. And in each one of those, you learn a
Yeah.
different movement, and
Yes.
you learn the expressing your body and
Yes.
loving your body through that.
Hmm.
So all of that was instrumental for
Oh,
me.
that's amazing.
Yes,
Yes. So,
yes,
girls,
yes.
ladies, let's go to do some dancing.
Yes, 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 absolutely. And it doesn't matter what you look like, how you do it,
Yes.
just move, move your
Just
body,
go.
just go
Yes.
and do it. Yes. Live out loud.
Yes, thank you. So also we kind of touched base on boundaries when you and
Mm,
I talked before.
yes,
I think boundaries is something that many people, I would say not only women, are struggling with,
yes,
especially after we've been traumatized and
hmm,
after being people pleasers.
yes.
How did you begin to build boundaries after not having them at all?
Yeah, yeah. So another great question. Boy, that was a healing journey in itself.
Mm-hmm.
With the boundaries, and I started actually really looking at every aspect of my life and sort of dissecting every aspect of
Mm-hmm.
my life as to like what got me here, what got me here, what
Mm-hmm.
got me here, and what I believe in all of these areas of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I believe what I believe um, in spirituality or religion? Why do I believe what I believe in politics? Why do I believe what
Mm-hmm.
I believe in how relationships would work? So I started dissecting that and looking at each
Mm.
one and
Mm-hmm.
realizing
Mm-hmm.
that all the beliefs I had, they were not mine. They were
Oh
not my
wow.
beliefs. They
Yes.
were beliefs of my environment,
Mm-hmm.
of society, of what I had like always been around. So
Yeah.
in dissecting those, I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
That's
well,
amazing.
that's a no now for me, and that's a
Mm-hmm.
no now for me, and that's a no, and I want to look at it this way and not that way.
Mm-hmm.
And in the course of all of that, I had some rupture in my family. In that rupture, I realized that I didn't have any boundaries with things
Mm-hmm.
within my family,
Mm-hmm.
and in being the people pleaser, or being I mean, I was always very headstrong and always very knew what I did and didn't want, but I allowed a lot of things.
Yes.
And so I started looking at that and started creating some boundaries. I started using, which became very powerful for me. I moved out of victim
Mm-hmm.
state into ownership state, which
Mm-hmm.
was, instead of she did, he did, this happened, it was I statements. I
Uh-huh.
chose, I
Uh-huh.
enabled, I allowed, I
Mm-hmm.
ignored.
Yes.
And that was with everything, again, everything in my life, because remember, everything was upside
Yes.
down, and I was trying to figure out everything. And so I started looking at, again, every avenue of my life and saying, okay, how do I take back my ownership of this, and how do I make this mine?
Yes.
And so I ignored, I chose, I
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
allowed, helped me to start establishing boundaries around that. It's like, okay, I allowed that before. What will I allow now?
Mm-hmm.
or what will I not allow now? Because I get to choose all of this.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
where my power is. That's where all of us have our power, is we have choice.
Yes.
And so in realizing and in taking that victimness away from myself, and putting myself back in power of myself, I started really establishing boundaries, and I became very strong, so strong in my boundaries that people were rupturing all around me because I was just like, nope, nope,
Yeah,
nope,
what's going
nope,
on?
no.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Like, what's going on with her?
it was very difficult. It was difficult
Yeah.
with my family. It was difficult with a lot of friends. It was just difficult all the way around, because when you're a person that's used to like taking care of this or doing this, and all of a sudden you're like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that anymore. That's unacceptable. Not having that kind of conversation anymore, that sort of thing. I was met with a lot of rupture. I was met with a lot of, now all of a sudden I was the bad guy in every situation,
Of course.
in every situation. And I think I said the word boundaries probably a zillion times a day. I was like, no, here's my boundary. No, here's my boundary. Here's my boundary. And it became a part of my conversations, my daily conversations. And through that, I've now gotten to a place that my boundaries are still my boundaries. I'm not as hard about them, but they're still very clear. Whereas before I felt like I had to be so rigid, because if I gave just a little bit, I was down a slippery slope. Well, now I can be in that place of power, in that place of, no, this is my boundary, but I can do it from a place of softness.
Yes.
And a place of the unapologetic no.
And people accept it, I guess,
and
right?
People accept it. And
Yeah.
people accept it. Yes, they accept it. And then sometimes there are a lot of conversations around it too. So, and I'm good with that as well. But
that's wonderful.
Yeah, I think at one point I was even saying, boundaries are the new black. It looks good on everybody, because we all have black in our wardrobe. And it's like, yeah, put your boundaries on.
Yes. And I think it's so hard for us to say no to people who are our close friends or our close family, especially when you used to say yes, and you would do. And as you said, it's even like having the same conversations, and now you just stop having that conversation. And how did people, I know that people, you said they ruptured, right? So like everything like, so some probably just disappeared from your life, and some stayed and accepted it. So how did you go about that letting people go from your life who were not fine with your boundaries? How did it make you feel?
It was really hard. It was really, really hard. And also, it wasn't necessarily that I was saying yes to things. It was just, I was just doing things or going along or handling or in the merry-go-round of a conversation that was going nowhere. But it was really, it was really hard, Victoria. I'll say, at one point I had to take such firm boundaries with some family members that I had one holiday season I spent completely alone.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry.
And it was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. Because I'm used to being around, family and friends and all for the holidays. And I had friends that were like, come over, come for Christmas, come for Christmas Eve. But again, I said no. I said, I love that. And I love you. And I love the invitation. But I need to sit in this. I need to sit in this place of rupture for myself because of the boundaries I've created and the ripple effect that it's taken. And because I've chosen to not be around certain people during this time, I want to sit through this by myself. I want to feel it. I want to feel all of it. And I want it to come through my body. I want to embody it. I want to come out the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And if I go and spend time here or spend time there
Yes.
in these beautiful, loving environments, yes,
Yeah.
I'm going to bypass some of this.
Yes. Yes.
And so, there were friends of mine, they're like, what are you doing? They're
Why are
like,
you doing what?
they're like, it's Christmas. And like,
Yes.
what are you doing? I'm like, I'm good. I
Yes.
really need to do this. I need to
Yes.
just ride through this
Mm-hmm.
wave, this horrifying, lonely place. I need to ride through it and get out the other side. And I did. So,
Mm-hmm.
but it was very hard. It was very,
Mm-hmm.
very
Of course.
hard. Still hard. I've had to establish some boundaries in the last year because of the political
Mm-hmm.
climate. I've had to establish some boundaries, and I've had some close friends that I don't have any communication with anymore. And so
Mm-hmm.
there's a whole grieving around that right
Yes.
now.
Yes.
Again, I'm choosing that from an alignment standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
from an integrity standpoint, from a belief standpoint that are my beliefs, not anybody
Yes.
else's. And so there's grief. There's also a big exhale.
Mm-hmm.
There
Yeah.
is
Oh, I love this.
release. There's release.
Yes.
It's like, what can I release? We talk about losing weight. I always say, releasing weight or
Yes.
releasing
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is that no
Yes.
longer serves you. And so, and I also like to say, this is not for the faint at heart.
Mm-hmm.
Doing
Correct. Yeah.
this, it's hard. It's very,
It
very,
is.
very
Yes. It's
hard.
hard. Yeah.
And it's heartbreaking at times. Absolutely heartbreaking.
But then
Yes.
it's worth it, by the way.
It's worth it. It really is. On the
Yes.
other side, on the other
Yes.
side of that is, it's totally worth it. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
And both things can be true at the same time. You can
Yes.
grieve and you can release. You
Yes.
can grieve and cry, but also exhale of the release of what isn't serving you any longer.
Yes.
So both things can be true. It doesn't mean that, oh, I have this boundary here, so woohoo, I'm over here celebrating. I forgot about that. No, I have both going on. It's
No.
dual. It's dual.
Yes.
I have both going on. I have the grief and the letting
Mm-hmm.
go and the happiness of not feeling some of that.
Yes.
Some of the things that are triggering
Mm-hmm.
around it. So it's this constant balancing, or not even balancing, just being aware, in the awareness that
Mm-hmm.
all of that can be true at the same time, and all of that can be in your body at the same time, and
Yes.
in your thoughts at the same time. And they are going to mesh, and they're going to separate and mesh and separate, and you're eventually going to come to a place that, like, oh, okay, I'm on the other side now. I'm on
Yeah.
the
Just
other
allow
side.
that process to happen. And I
Mm,
think that's what we try to avoid. We
yeah.
don't want to feel pain,
Well, yeah.
emotional pain, right? So
Yeah.
we all
Yeah.
try to avoid, and I call it comfortable discomfort.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm a little bit
Yes.
discomfort, but it's comfortable. I don't know exactly, but
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
it takes time to process
Hmm.
whatever is happening or the change
Yes.
transformation, but once you're on the other side, it's
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah.
And I feel as people, they either stay on the other side or they
Hmm.
will come back to your life, but they will have to accept who you are. And
Yes.
that's kind of, I think, the point here as well, right? So if people don't want to accept or accept you who you are with your boundaries, they don't have to be in your surrounding, basically.
True. And the thing is, one of the things I learned through all of this, and people that were helping me, was when you establish a boundary, and particularly if it's a big boundary,
Mm-hmm.
and someone comes up against that, and you're a no, it forces them to realize what they're allowing in their
Mm-hmm.
life. It
Mm-hmm.
forces them to confront what they're enabling, what they're a yes to that they shouldn't be a yes to.
Yes.
And if they're not ready for that, if they're not ready to dig deep into that, if they're not ready to do their work, then they're going to rupture onto you.
Yes.
The person that established the boundary.
Correct.
And so it took a while to learn that, oh, this really isn't about me.
Yes.
It's about this person that I'm reflecting to them, that this is an unhealthy type of environment or situation. And now this person sees that, oh, but I'm still accepting this or enabling this. So, and I'm not ready to let go of that. So I'm going to be mad at you.
Of course. I mean, of course. There is somebody to blame.
Yes. So that was hard because I took a lot of that. I had a lot of that coming at me. And totally and so I just had to keep telling myself that, like, okay, this really isn't about what's happening with me. It's about what I'm reflecting back that's happening to them.
Yes. And if they're ready to look into themselves, they will. If not, it is what it is. We cannot change it.
Yeah, exactly. It is. And just because I've established some of these boundaries with people, and I do want to say that some of those boundaries I had to take a hard line on, we are on the other side. I am on the other side with some of these individuals.
Yes.
Now, have they made dramatic changes in their life? Not necessarily, but how we relate to one another is completely different than what it was before.
Yes.
So they didn't necessarily have to change their whole lifestyle, but they did have to find a different way to relate with me. And I had to find a different way to relate with them. And when some of that unhealthy stuff comes up, or what I know is against my boundaries, I'm like, I'm not going to have the conversation, or I'm going to walk away, or I'm just going to put an end to it, and it's all good.
So you're basically building new connection with the same people, but both accept. So they accept your boundaries, and they know what to expect. And if they're willing to, if they're willing to have that connection and relationship, that's great. If not, we cannot force them.
Right. Exactly. I do have another person that was in my life that just, could not accept any time I would say, let's not have that conversation, or why don't we table this? And like when things are a little cooler, come back around, or, and they just couldn't do it. They just had to keep pushing and pushing. And I'm like, okay, well, sadly, I don't have that person as somebody that I relate to anymore. And that's made me very sad, because it was a person I knew for a very long time, and who's still very close, to other people that I love. And he and I were very close. And so that there's been a great sadness around that. But I also recognize the toxicity with it. And that it goes against everything I'm aligned with.
Yes. So sometimes we have to let go those people.
Yes.
So, and you have transformed. Now you are a teacher, you're a guide, and a great example of how a woman can feel in her when she is 60. So,
thank you. Thank you.
I love your energy. I love being at your events. Can you please now tell us about your life now, and how do you feel about helping others, and how do you feel learning about Tantra? And tell us a little bit more about Tantra, what it is, because for some people, when they hear Tantra, they're like, right? So,
right. I was one of those people.
Yes.
Yes, I was one of those people.
Can you please tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah. So I love helping people. I really do. And there is, when I have events, and thank you so much. I love your energy in my events too. I'm so glad we've met, and that you're part of everything now.
Thank you.
When I see people come in to any events that I'm facilitating, and I see them relax their shoulders, or breathe a little deeper, or smile a little more, or a glow come across, or like an aha,
Mm-hmm.
or I can like feel their heart opening.
Yeah.
It just makes my heart explode.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. It's like my heart opens. It opens and fills up and opens and fills up. And it's just the most wonderful feeling to be able to know that I was a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And to see that. And it's also a wonderful feeling when I'm not facilitating, when I'm in the room as a participant or as an assistant for someone else and seeing that. It's the same thing. It's like, oh, wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. So with Tantra, Tantra, you can ask a million people what's Tantra and you're going to get a million different, answers.
Your interpretation.
Yes. And I felt the same way. The first time somebody said Tantra to me, I'm like, what? I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know what that is. And so I think I think most people, when they hear the word Tantra, they immediately go to the sexual aspect of it. And, for some people that's like, woohoo, yes. And for other people that's like, wait a minute, what is happening? No. No, I'm a no, right? And so the sexual aspect, that is, of course, that's an important part of it, but that's not all of it. That's not all of it. So Tantra, by its definition, is weaving together. And for me, my interpretation of it, or I should say the main pillars, if you will, are breath, sound, and movement. So when we're going through our day and how we're doing or living our life, you've got the breath, you've got the sound, you've got your movement, you're in some sort of tantric state. And, one of my teachers too, and I kind of hang on to this, says, Tantra is everything and everything is Tantra. And I truly believe in that. And when I heard that, I was like, that makes so much sense to me. So for me, it's the way I show up every day. It's how I interact with people. It's how I connect with people. It's how I interact with everything. It's how I interact with nature. It's how I choose the food that I want. It's how I choose textures that I want to surround myself with. It's how I touch another person, how another person touches me. It's being in your full body. Yes. It's being aware of your nose. It's bringing forth your authenticness.
Yes.
It's bringing forth your vulnerability. It's also being in sacred space and creating sacred space for all of that to happen as well. So living a Tantra lifestyle, you sort of look at all of that. You look at all of that. How am I bringing this forth, and how am I walking through life? Am I shut down, or is my heart open? And it doesn't mean that I'm walking around all the time with rainbows above my head, that sort of thing. No. Unicorns dancing around me or anything like that. Because yes, there's all that beautiful, but there's also the shadow work and the darkness that comes that you also allow in, and you also dance with, and you also make a part of who you are, and let that commingling or that weaving together of your lightness and your darkness come together, in the weaving together of everything that you touch, and how does it come together for your life and your best authentic higher life. And that's what it means briefly to me.
Briefly, but it's so I was like, oh, I was all following the moves. And
yeah, I know. I move a lot. I know.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it felt very nice. Like a meditation.
Oh, thank you. It's so funny. I have to say, I was just at a goddess retreat, and a girlfriend of mine, she had gone to the car, so we're all out on the beach, and came back, and she said, and I was looking because I lost where we were. She goes, all of a sudden I saw you just swaying.
Yeah, I think
down the beach. She said, you were always swaying, you're always moving. She goes, and I thought, well, those are my people, because that's got to be Robin swaying back and forth. So, yes.
Yeah, and I felt my body kind of moving too.
Yeah. And that's a part of it too. It's like the embodiment of it, and feel it in your body. And so I naturally just start moving with it. So Yes, that's all part
That's
of it.
beautiful. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Robin, for sharing it. I really
Yeah.
like what you said about that you made a decision to come out of the victim state and
Yes.
to the ownership state.
Yes. Yeah.
What your legacy message
Mm.
can be for women listening who thinks it's too late for them to rebuild their life? What would you tell them?
It is never, ever too late. And I would say your intuition, your womanhood, that's your superpower. And listen to it. Embrace it, love it up. It's never going to lead you astray. And just start where you are with who you are. And
Mhm.
you'll find your way, and the way will appear, the people will appear, the environments will appear. It will all be in alignment. So just start wherever you are in your life.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you. It's so
Yes.
beautiful. Thank you. And powerful too. Yes, it's never too late to
No,
start. Yes.
no, yes, yes.
Thank you, Robin, for this wonderful story of yours, inspiring and also very um, motivating to build
Mm,
boundaries, to rebuild yourself, and also figuring out how our life can unfold in different perspectives if
mm,
or after we feel broken.
mm.
We can put ourselves together. You're a great example of
Yes.
a happy woman
Mm,
at
thank
the age
you.
of 60, right? So,
60, soon to be 61. Woohoo. Yes.
oh,
Yes. Yes.
thank you so much. And
Yes.
you can find more information and connect with Robin by following the links below this
Mm-hmm.
episode. And if life feels overwhelming with constant challenges and pressure, check out my favorite stress free aid kit below as well. And please don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss another powerful story. And remember,
Mm.
no matter how tough things get, you are not alone.